Hi everyone, Cody Rivera here again, Innovation Fellow at Alia. Alia is a Minnesota-based national nonprofit that works with innovative leaders and systems related to child welfare. And as an Innovation Fellow, I focus on innovation and human-centered design and developing those skills and bringing in the family and youth voice to the center of our design, center of our solutions, center of our innovation. This is part 3 of a series where I share my experience of being involved with child welfare. And in this part, I'm going to be talking about my life after foster care, after I've aged out. So in the last video, I explained how I found a forever family, how my biological family and my foster family came together and we became one big family. Now I'm in college. I'm 21. I'm supposed to age out at 21, but because I'm in college, they have an extended policy in New York State. And I want to actually emphasize that, one of these points that of why I went to college and why I studied. So I studied architecture. And the reason I studied architecture was because in one of my first foster homes, we would watch Extreme Makeover Home Edition. And this was around when I was 11 years old. And it was my belief that if I could build homes for families, I could keep families together. If I had just had a good home, a physical home, my family could have stayed together. That was my belief. So in high school, I studied architecture, and then I went to college and I studied architecture and ultimately graduated with my degree in architecture, a Bachelor of Arts in Architecture. And what I like to emphasize in this time period of my life of aging out and now reflecting back on my experiences, there's these full circles that come together, things that come back around. And I had explained in the last video that I wanted to go to college and graduate from college because it was my mom's wish, for us to go to college. She had 2 things that she absolutely emphasized. It was how much she loved us, and it was us going to college. So I did that. And what made this story full circle is after I made the decision to stay in foster care, and now I officially am aging out as I graduated on Mother's Day. And I remember walking up the steps. I was not crying, and then all of a sudden my name got called, and I'm walking towards the president of the colleges to go grab my degree, and I just instantly start, like tears of joy, and it was a really beautiful moment. And what actually made this story go full circle even more and even further was in high school, my senior year of high school, I did a speech for Bill Clinton, and this was around a time where I was talking about my foster parent, about all the help he has given me in order to succeed after going into college during high school. And Bill Clinton ended up being our speaker that year for our college. And it just came full circle because my foster parent was there, and we were just all a family. And it was just such a unique moment. Mother's Day and Bill Clinton and this emphasis on family and my foster parent's support. It was just a beautiful moment. In terms of coming full circle. And then one of the things I like to emphasize when reflecting back as well is the idea of really listening to the biological family and to the youth of the family. And this goes back to the first point, the first part of the series is, why didn't the child welfare agencies ask us questions about, are we happy? What do we want? What are the strengths and weaknesses of this family, of my mom, of my dad? What could we do to help you rather than what could we do to separate you? Because I think ultimately, that would have led to a very different trajectory and outcome of being involved in child welfare. So when I talk to families, when I talk to agency leaders, I always say that. I always bring up that point about my experience. If they were asking the right questions and really focused on keeping us together and that being a strength of our family, then maybe things could have been different. Maybe outcomes wouldn't have turned out so tragic and so drastic, as my mom passing away and stuff, because she would have had that strength, that support. And then I always talk about, what if those resources with foster parents and the agency came at the time before separation? What could have been accomplished if they were used as a resource to co-build and co-create, right? One of the things we emphasize at Alia is this co-creation, this co-community of working together, of bringing all the resources together for one goal and one aspiration, and that is to strengthen the family. And at the same time, as it's going on, within my experience, we were all strengthened and preserved together. And then for my last point, to professionals and leaders in child welfare, is be curious and have this mindset of looking for new knowledge and new insights and new firsthand experiences to help develop and shift your work as you help families and help youth become strengthened and preserved together. Because ultimately, my success and my success of aging out of foster care was because I shifted my mindset about how I felt and how I thought about child welfare. When my mom passed away, I knew that I was going to stay in foster care. There was really no way around it. And when I started to look at foster care as a resource, as a tool to help me go to college and really achieve my aspiration of graduating college, I began to help develop my child welfare agency by helping other youth through this process and helping them achieve outcomes with their youth and then achieve outcomes with myself and other youth. And this was really important. And we do this at Alia as well. We help agencies shift their mindset. And we shift it under one aspiration of families being strengthened and preserved. So as agency leaders and professionals, when you begin to develop this new mindset of, now, how could we really strengthen families? How could we really preserve families? We know that separation isn't working, and in most cases, it's making things worse. So how do we move forward? And this is one of the advices I like to give throughout my story, and it could work in some cases and maybe not some, but those are just some of the last things that I like to share. So I really, really appreciate all of your time and everyone listening in. I really hope you enjoyed this 3-part series of my experience in foster care, from my time before going into foster care to my time in foster care to my time now. I would love your comments, your insights, your reflections, your engagement in this conversation, because ultimately that's where the true value comes from. Is the conversations that will be created from this. And please do visit Alia's website to check out some of our resources, check out some of our work that we're doing with agency leaders and some of the outcomes that we're creating for leaders and for families and for communities, and ultimately be a part of our vision and our goal to really help shift the child welfare system, because this is where I'm at right now, trying to help shift the child welfare system to work better for families and giving that firsthand experience and insight. So thank you so much. I really look forward to hearing from all of you, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.